All right, I want to give you a little tour of all of the different celosias that we're going to be offering during our seed sale. So I've got them all planted here, all but one of the mixes. And I thought this would be a really great way to see the difference between them because some are similar, but they are all still very different. Okay, so this first one is Vintage Rose, and this is one that we've been offering for many, many years. And it is a beautiful mix of like a really pale blush and then this kind of champagne color. The stems are dark, which is what makes it even more striking. And then they have these really beautiful dark green leaves with the kind of red veining. And there are long wispy plumes. They're very shimmery. And this one is excellent for arranging with. And then what I love about it is you get these little like wispy side branches, which are really nice in arrangements, along with these big dense plumes. And normally plants, these are planted a little bit late, but normally they're going to get at least this tall, if not taller. So this is a long-time favorite with a lot of people. I love this one. Okay, so the next one is Rose Gold. And this is one that is one of our new releases. And you can see that we've got blush here with the Vintage Rose, but Rose Gold has a kind of a different range. It's warmer. So it has this really pretty kind of bluey, it almost kind of has like a lavender cast to it, kind of a metallic look. This beautiful blush. Again, we have champagne. You get the occasional weird like plume with the little twizzle top, more blush. So you could see it's kind of a range of colors, and this is really great for wedding work. But plants are a bit stockier, they're heavily branching, and you get, I think, just a wider range of colors compared to Vintage Rose. But I love to have them both. See, if you look this way, these guys have kind of a greenish quality to them in the plumes, where these don't. They have more substance and color. This one, well, both are fantastic. Now this is one we won't have available yet, but it is the selection that came out of, oh, I'm forgetting the names because I'm so excited. Okay, so it came out of Rose Gold, and then I named it Fool's Gold. Look at the color on this. So it is like a pure mix of champagne plumes. So this one's coming in the future. I absolutely love it. It's just, it feels like a coral reef or something really beautiful. So that one's coming, but we don't have it yet. This one is Dusty Rose. So in the very, very beginning, I was growing Vintage Rose with Supercrest, both of the houses, and I didn't understand isolation. And so I was trying to save seed. And even though typically these two don't cross, what happened was the two of them crossed. And so we got the color of Vintage Rose with that beautiful dark stem, the beautiful rich green leaves, the kind of cranberry veining, but then we got the color of the color on a fan-shaped flower head. So it is Vintage Rose crossed with Supercrest, and this is what happened. And then we also get the height of this where Supercrest is not as tall. I love this mix. Perfect for weddings. And if you look at the top of them, they have these really pretty ranges of kind of blush and pink and rose. But I love the contrasting darker stems with the velvety fans. This one is fantastic. And then if you are growing it, it's super, with all of the celosias, but especially this one, you can save seed off of them so easily. So you only have to ever get it once. Okay, so the next one is, this is Summer Sherbet. This is one we've also offered for a really long time. You can see the towering stems, these big, beautiful plumes, and it comes in a really pretty, kind of a cooler pink, kind of a peachy pink. So it's a range of pinks, and sometimes you get a little bit of peach. But this one is fantastic. Great for market bouquets. You could still use it for like floral design and wedding work, but it's a little bit more saturated in color. Now this is a new one that we offered as part of the Floret Originals, and it came from this mix, but we reselected, and Eric was really going, he calls, the original name was Spaghetti. That was like our working title, but he was really going for, see how textural the plumes are? They have like extra, well really it's like extra texture, and we got more colors in here like orange and coral and more vivid pink. But what's interesting to see them growing next to each other, the spun sugar is a bit shorter, but much more dense and stocky, kind of a more uniform growth habit. So still plenty long for cutting, but you can see the difference between the two mixes. So this is mostly pinks and peach, and this is pink, coral, peach, and orange. So you can see the difference between the two, and then look at the height difference. So we've got here and here. So if you're trying to choose between the two, that's the difference. This one is Lemonada. So it is that kind of typical pompous plume growth style, really tall, very vigorous. It has the pretty kind of clean limey green plumes, so you can use this kind of as a foliage in arrangements because of that green color. And there's kind of a range of shapes, so some of the plumes are a little bit more dense, some are a little bit more wispy, some are more textural, but you can see it's all that really pretty kind of like, you could call it Sprite, you know, or Lemonada. Okay, this one is Raspberry Lemonade. So a bit shorter, but again, a plume variety in this really pretty raspberry color. And what I love about this one is that the color isn't too vivid or vibrant. It kind of has a sun-bleached quality. So there is a little bit of a range of colors within the mix, not too big of a range. But you can see, oops, the spiders. You can see that we've got kind of a pinkier and then kind of more of a maroon. Oh, look at that big mama. Oh, I'm scared of spiders. So, but that is Raspberry Lemonade. Okay, and then over here, we've got the dark purple Sangria, and it is really, really rich, dark grape purple with almost kind of black stems, like really dark, really beautiful, kind of chocolate. And then you'll get some of the magenta in there as well. But if you like really vivid, saturated colors, this one is great. This is also really good if you are doing jewel tones. So if you want to mix fuchsia and blue and dark purple together, if you're making market bouquets, you can see how vigorous it is, how productive it is. This one would be great if you wanted to kind of go with that jewel tone palette. Okay, this next one is Glowing Embers. So it is mostly a mix of corals and oranges and kind of this cherry color. And then you'll get the occasional gold. Those still are popping up for us, but it's kind of like a fun surprise. But you could see there's quite a range. They have that candelabra shape, but the plumes have different textures. So this one you can see is kind of a faded coral, and this one is more of a rich orange. But see how the plumes are different texturally, which is really cool. And what I don't have is the mix of all of the colors, but this is a selection out of that's kind of more of the oranges and corals. This one is great. Really, I would say all season, because even though it is more of the fall tones, they still have a kind of a clean, fresh feel, so it doesn't get too heavy and dingy. Okay, this is Coral Reef, and this is a selection from Supercrest of the most vivid colors. So Supercrest is a really fast to flower, easy to grow, very productive mix that was on the market for many years. And it's really hard to find now. So we're working on bringing that one back, but we won't have it yet. But the Coral Reef mix has really like a fantastic color, especially if you're doing market bouquets or you just like more color. So you can see we've got that cherry in there. We've got a beautiful kind of a corally orange. You have a true orange. You've got rose pink, lots of orange, got some magenta, but everything in here pretty much is very saturated, and they're nice big fans. This again is one that you could save seed off of, so you only need to get it once. You'll find the occasional yellow, but I would say for the vast majority of them, they're nice and saturated. So so you can see that was a selection from this, which is Supercrest, and these guys are a little old. We should have been cutting them earlier. So you could see that's the kind of darker, the dinginess, but that means they're about to make seed. So within Supercrest, we won't have this available, but just so you know, it's a softer range. So you get this kind of really pretty limey green, a beautiful kind of sun-bleached velvet. You'll get rose, you'll get kind of a pale lemon. So that's a really nice mix if you can ever come across it, but we will have this available in the future. You also get that really pretty kind of peachy coral. And then these are some celosias that we are growing out and working on for a friend grower, but I won't show you those because they're too good and you're going to just be tempted. But we'll have seed for all of these except this one here. Let's move down to what we'll have. September 9 through 19, we're doing a big pre-order. So you can pre-order your seeds so that you can secure them, and then we're going to pack them and ship them out in early to mid-February. So there's lots of good stuff. And the great thing about celosia is, man, they can take the heat, they keep producing. They're like a cut and come again. They're very easy to grow. If you have a more challenging growing climate, they do very well. And they're very easy to save seed from. So if you want to learn how to save seed, you can sign up for our Seed Saving Mini Course, which is a free course. And in it, Eric and I show you how to save seed from dahlias, zinnias, and celosia. So if you want to get a packet, you'll really never have to buy it again as long as you keep the varieties isolated. So yeah, hopefully this little tour helps you make the decision on which varieties that are going to be best for you in your garden.